Dante's Boxing Nation. What's going on, guys? So, yep, I've been telling you guys since 2012, we have been having some great matchups. The type of matchups that we have been waiting for the longest. You know, when it comes to Manny Pacquiao against Brandon Rios, I'm really excited about this fight. I'm really looking forward to seeing this fight. For the first time in a long time, Manny Pacquiao, even though Brandon Rios is coming off a loss, still Manny Pacquiao is fighting a young lion. Okay? We all know the last time Pacquiao fought a young lion, he lost, and that was to Tim Bradley, right? And the last time he fought someone who was closer to his prime, he got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez. It's a lot of interesting intangibles when it comes to this fight because I could sit here and tell you that logically Pacquiao should easily outbox a flat-footed brawler like Brandon Rios, right? I mean, that would be the logical explanation of how this fight would turn out. But there's so many different, there's so many different things you have to look at that kind of change that way of thinking, right? I mean, you got Manny Pacquiao being knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, and us not really knowing if he has fully recovered from that knockout, right? But then there's also something else that you have to consider. I mean, even if Manny Pacquiao didn't get knocked out, you always had to consider this. The majority of fighters that Pacquiao was facing, they were all coming off of a loss. They were all coming off of a knockout loss, all except for Joshua Clottey, right, and Shane Mosley. But they had all came off of either knockout losses or extremely decisive losses. And the majority of them were a little bit past their prime, or maybe they weren't the same since they got knocked out. Some of them, right? In this situation right here, once again, I'm saying it, Pacquiao is facing a young lion. Now, obviously, if this were Floyd Mayweather against Brandon Rios, if this were, Adrian Broner against Brandon Rios, if this were, someone like that, then, it would be an easy fight. It would be an easy fight, and it wouldn't even be too much to talk about in a prediction. But because this is Manny Pacquiao, because of Pacquiao's terrible defense, because of Pacquiao's inability to fight in the inside, he gives this very vulnerable flat-footed fighter a tremendous chance to upset and win this fight, right? I mean, you guys have to understand one thing about Brandon Rios, and one thing he showed me when he was fighting against Mike Alvarado. He showed it to us when he wanted to. He was actually catching Mike Alvarado with some tremendous, beautiful jabs, something you would not expect to come from Brandon Rios. He was throwing a nice, educated, hard jab. I think he even wobbled Alvarado a couple times with just the jab. Okay, he was throwing some good right hands, of course. What this really comes down to is with Manny Pacquiao getting hit with every single punch in the book. He's a sucker for a jab. He's a sucker for a right hand, uppercut, hooks, etc., etc. What this really is going to come down to is Brandon Rios having a good-ass trainer or not, right? And I'm going to tell you something right now. Robert Garcia, as far as I'm concerned, he's not the best trainer. He just happened to, string together some big-name fighters, and everyone started to cling to him, thinking that he's the new big thing, right? But if Robert Garcia is really a good-ass fighter, then he will put Brandon Rios in a training camp where Brandon Rios is doing some serious-ass straight punches, right? Straight fucking punches over and over and over again. Because if Brandon Rios comes in there throwing a gang of jabs, a gang of right hands, and then using his straight punches to get closer and then working in the inside, I see this has been a tough fight for Manny Pacquiao. I really do. I really do. A lot of these dumb trainers, they mess around and they go get sparring partners that fight nothing like the damn opponent that they're facing. Like when Juan Marquez fought against Floyd Mayweather, he had guys from Mexico City who fought nothing like Mayweather. All they're doing is just trying to throw a Philly shell. Like, oh yeah, okay. All we have to do to emulate Floyd is, fold our damn arms and shit, and we got it down pack, right? I mean, it's ridiculous for someone to even think that that's all you would have to do. If Robert Garcia was smart, he would go out and he would go get some American style, more quicker, slicker type southpaw fighters. That would be perfect sparring, right? For Brandon Rios to prepare himself for Floyd. I'm sorry, guys, to prepare himself for Manny Pacquiao, right? I mean, Manny Pacquiao, he already know what to do. Manny Pacquiao, he's already hired Provodnikov to prepare him for Brandon Rios. Okay, so Manny Pacquiao, he's already got an idea of exactly what to do and how to prepare for this type of fight. But then again, Pacquiao, he's been down this road before. He's been, on a big stage, so he knows how to prepare for such, a big pay-per-view event, right? So with me saying all that, guys, I know I'm going to sound a little wishy-washy right now, because this is not the easiest prediction. Like I said, we don't know how much Pacquiao has left. And at the same time, we just don't know how he can deal with the inside fighting, right? He could easily be knocked out, okay? Bernard Hopkins made an article the other day where he was saying he was shocked that Pacquiao would take a fight like this, to fight a young lion who's a hard puncher on your first fight back. It's pretty dangerous. And trust me, Bob Arum is sweating bullets right now because Bob didn't want Pacquiao to fight Rios or Alvarado. But, when Marquez chose Bradley, that threw a big monkey wrench in the whole program. And now, Bob Arum is really nervous because I think Bob Arum knows that both Rios and Alvarado are capable of beating Manny Pacquiao. Mike Alvarado probably more likely because he has boxing ability, So, what I'm going to basically say is probably surprise you after I just said all of that. If you forced me to bet on this fight, you put a gun in my head and you told me to bet on this fight, I would still have to lean a little bit towards Manny Pacquiao. I see Manny Pacquiao getting hit a lot, but possibly outboxing Brandon Rios and possibly knocking him out. Okay? If Manny Pacquiao can knock out Brandon Rios, this will almost be a rebirth of Manny Pacquiao. And it shines a lot of light on that potential fight with Mayweather. Okay? If he can knock out Brandon Rios. If not, who knows? Maybe Brandon Rios moves up and he fights against Floyd Mayweather. Who knows? But the bottom line is, I really want to see Pacquiao Mayweather. So I'm pulling for Manny Pacquiao that he wins this fight. Okay, so but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and I'm not too sure about this prediction when I say this one because it could go either way. So I may not have said everything I wanted to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that. Okay, guys. So we'll see what happens, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I'm on to the next one.